Hello friends, welcome to my channel if you are new here, and welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. My name is Brittany. On this channel I share my stupid opinions about the books I've been reading. Today we're doing an I Read 3. Before we get into the actual books and everything, I would love to know in the comments tropes that you'd like to see included in this series, or if you have specific book recommendations for a trope, 3 of them, drop me a comment, let me know what you want to see. I am definitely willing to give your suggestions a whirl instead of just flying by the seat of my own pants. The first book that I read is a small town friends to lovers romance called Friends Don't, which is Fall in Love Book 1 by Leah Dobrinska. I'm gonna call this one a soft romance, more commonly referred to as a clean romance, because this one is 0 on the chili pepper scale. There is no spice in this book. Averaging 4.29 on Goodreads with 388 ratings at the time of my notes and 85 reviews, we have the following synopsis. A heartfelt and hilarious romantic comedy loosely inspired by While You Were Sleeping. Haven't seen it. As the oldest of 3 sisters, Poppy Casper doesn't remember a time when she wasn't the glue holding her siblings and their lives together. So moving across the country to Cashmere Cove, the hometown of her new boyfriend, is completely out of character. Add in the fact that said boyfriend is leaving for a months-long pro golf tour, and it's enough to make Poppy question her sanity. But it's fine, everything's fine. She can still be a good sister from a distance, and she'll keep the spark in her relationship alive with calls, texts, and old-fashioned love notes. See? Fine. Quiet and serious Mac Bradley is used to playing second fiddle to his famous younger brother, especially since his own reputation was ruined nearly a decade ago. He's made his peace with his circumstances, but when his brother begs him to show the new girlfriend around Cashmere Cove, give her the ropes, and then ups the ante with like an even bigger request to stand in as her pen pal, Mac finds himself thrown into the path of effervescent Poppy Casper. She's his foil, whatever that means, in every way. She also makes him feel things he's never felt before. A summer of pranks, late night swims, and stargazing finds Poppy and Mac forging an unlikely friendship, one built on laughter, pushing each other to see life in a different light. But when Poppy's relationship with Mac's brother unravels, is she going to leave town, or will there be a reason for her to stay? After all, friends don't fall in love, do they? Closing line of the synopsis is Friends Don't is the first book in the Fall in Love series, which follows 3 sisters as they find love after moving across the country to the small town of Cashmere Cove, Wisconsin. This is a closed-door rom-com with plenty of sizzling chemistry and romantic tension, but no spice. Now that you know what the book is about, I'm gonna throw it over to Past Me, who has already read these books, and you're gonna see little snippets of how I felt while reading this book. Okay, good morning. The humidity of northern Illinois right now is not my friend with this new haircut, I will tell you that. What are we reading? Great question, so glad you asked. I am 25, almost 30% into Friends Don't by Leah Dobrinska. It is a Friends to Lovers book, obviously. You can see from the title of this video what we're doing this week. Okay, so female main character Poppy has moved from Pensacola, Florida up to Cashmere Cove, Wisconsin to be with her boyfriend of 2 months, Holland Bradley. Holland is an aspiring pro golfer who happens to be leaving for a pro golf tour the day after Poppy moves to Wisconsin. No big deal, right? It's fine. Poppy has this very, very clever idea to email each other to get to know each other while Holland is gone. What could go wrong? Well, Poppy and her sister Rose are actually living in a duplex that's owned by none other than Holland's older brother, Mac. Mac is the town's handyman and owns an electrician company. No big deal. When Mac takes Holland to the airport, Holland is like, I'm gonna be too busy to email Poppy, so I need you to do it for me. You know everything about me, just tell her about me, it'll be fine. What could go wrong, right? Well, at 30% in, Mac and Poppy are establishing this really sweet friendship. So one of the things that the town of Cashmere Cove does to test the salt of newcomers is they prank them. So the way that the town pranks Poppy is she works for the Parks and Rec office. They put those little snappers that you get for the 4th of July underneath the toilet seat that she then sits on and scares the thing out of herself. For Rose's welcome to the town prank. They feed her the mac and cheese powder mixed with water as a drink, and this is how they establish that Poppy and Rose are good fits for the town. Mac was town's golden boy, right? But then he ended a relationship with the town's golden girl, and when he did that, the town took the golden girl's side. So I think that Mac and Holland's mom kind of holds that against Mac because she's not exactly nice to him, and I hate it. She definitely favors her younger son, which, you know, we hate to see. I don't know. It's like, it's cute so far. I'm not like feeling like I'm gonna shout from the rooftops about it. I think that this one might be the one in this vlog that doesn't have any spice. But on that note, that's the update at 25%. I am going to go finish getting ready for work. Hopefully my hair doesn't puff up again when I walk outside to go. I need to make my coffee, and yeah, today's gonna be quite busy, so I will see you at the 50% mark probably later this evening. I don't know how fast I'm going to be able to work through this book. Hopefully pretty, but we'll see. All right, hello. We are a little over 50% into Friends Don't. Where we are right now, Holland has come home from his pro golf tournament, and is not highly suspicious of Mac and Poppy's friendship. Mac has been emailing Poppy on behalf of Holland. Poppy has no clue that it's Mac that she's been emailing instead of Holland. So Holland is like schmoozing at this wedding that he's come home for one of the other locals, and he has basically abandoned Poppy. So Poppy's just sitting there by herself, and Mac approaches to save the day. As far as the foundation of friendship being laid, sure, but like I'm already halfway through and it doesn't feel like they're thick as thieves and the best of friends. I think that what I was looking for with this vlog is more so they've always been friends and then they end up falling in love, not they meet and become friends while she's dating somebody else. I don't think that that was particularly what I was looking for this vlog, but it's okay. It is still very, very sweet. As far as like, is it spicy? No, it's not. There haven't, like, I'm pretty sure that she and Holland haven't even kissed, in at least on page. So there aren't even kissing scenes in here yet. As spicy as it gets is a freaking chicken fight in a lake, and that's it. So yeah, that's where we're at for the 50% mark. The goal is to read hopefully the rest of the book tonight so I can start another Friends to Lovers book maybe tomorrow. I'm not hopeful just because I am exhausted. I slept absolutely atrociously last night. Today was a very long and very stressful day. Tomorrow is going to be another very long and very stressful day. 'Tis the season to work at boot camp in summer. I'm gonna go finish getting children ready for bed, commence reading. I will check in with you once we hit the 75% mark, whether that's before I go to bed tonight or tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see. Only time will tell. I'll see you at the 75% mark regardless. Okay, it's 9:30 p.m. and I am at the 75% mark of Friends Don't. So several things that are important have happened. Mainly, Holland is back on his golf tour, and Poppy has decided to end things with him. She is realizing that perhaps she might have more feelings for Mac than that of friendship, and Mac is certainly feeling the same. Now, this book is told in dual POV, so it's both Poppy and Mac's POVs, which I'm here for. I love having the male perspective as well. I think one thing, 75%, that we haven't come back to is the emails exchanged between Poppy and Mac. I'm hoping that we talk about that and that was not for nothing. We also have found out exactly what went down between Trisha and Mac that has made Mac the public enemy #1 in Cashmere Cove. For me personally, kind of dumb, but that's fine. Poppy is big sister, aka mom, and it's showing because she's having a little bit of like must flee energy now that her and Holland have broken up. I'm gonna read like one more chapter and then go to bed, but that's where we're sitting with 75% into this book. Do I think that Mac and Poppy are going to go down in history as world's most memorable couple? No. Am I having a good time? Yes. I will check in at the end. We'll run through everything. There has been no kissing, and I'm at 75%. No kissing for anybody. Like, not even on the cheek or anything. The most we've gotten is him tucking her hair behind her ear. It's cool. It's cool. I always try to read at least one that isn't just straight filth all the time. Okay? It's fine. Welcome to my bathroom. We're gonna do my skincare. I have Good Molecules Wake Up Eye Gel for my eye cream. I'm almost done with Friends Don't. I have not started reading yet. It is like 8 p.m. And the reason I haven't started reading yet is because, don't judge me for how I put my eye cream on, okay? I haven't started reading yet because, oh gosh, I had to finish editing the podcast episode that goes up on Thursday. It is Kelly and I reading 1-star reviews of like our favorite books, and it was really fun. We have a YouTube channel now, so you can find that linked below. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. It's hard working a full-time job and having content creation as a side thing that I do, especially because I am the editor-in-chief. I do all the editing. Good Molecules Face Moisturizer, the daily one, lightweight. It makes my skin feel so soft, especially combined with my next step. After I finish Friends Don't tonight, I'm planning on picking up another book in this Friends to Lovers video. I think I know which one I'm gonna pick too. And if I'm out of focus, just so sorry about it. Yes, I realize that I push on my face probably too hard. Just leave me alone, okay? Somebody today told me that I look 12, so I don't know. Do I take that as a compliment? I'm gonna try to take it as a compliment. She seemed very nice when she told me I looked like I was 12, and she laughed at my stupid joke, so it'll work. I said, yeah, I look 12. I siphon the youth from my husband. The last step in my nighttime skincare routine is this. Can you see it? It's not focusing. This is, I don't know how to make it focus. This is the Good Molecules squalene oil. I just do like 4 drops of it over top of my moisturizer, and it makes my skin feel super, super, super soft. Like this, just pat it onto my face and then kind of rub it in a little bit. I don't know. It just makes me feel rejuvenated. And then I wash all this extra skincare off of my hands, so I'm gonna do that. I decided to temporarily stop dyeing my hair also. We're going over my hair with gloss only. So my gray hairs are gonna start shining through, and hopefully that will make me look less like a 12-year-old boy. I'm gonna brush my teeth, we will get into the bed and finish up reading, and then we'll talk about everything. Well, friends, I finished Friends Don't, and it went about as I expected it would. The last 10% felt so incredibly slow though, and the pacing from 83% to the end was all over the freaking place. I need to think on my review for a little bit, so that's what I'm going to do. What I will say is I don't foresee this going down in history as the most memorable of Friends to Lovers books, and that's totally fine. Okay. Oh my gosh, can I please? I'm gonna pick my next book now. I think I already have in mind something, but we'll see. Now that you've seen all of my thoughts leading up to the final review, let's run through my cawpile rating for everything. I gave characters 6 out of 10 in this book just because I didn't feel like they were going to go down as the most memorable of characters. Characters only get an extremely high score from me if I like remember who they are, if I'm going to be thinking about them. For Poppy and Mac, unfortunately, I just don't think that I'm going to be like, you remember when Mac said that? It's not going to be quite like Jacob and Will from Yours Truly and Practice Makes Perfect. Like, I don't think that I'm going to remember these characters quite like I remember other characters. I will say for atmosphere, it hit the small town vibe right on the head. It was exactly what I was looking for in terms of like small town romance. I did find some things lacking in the atmosphere. I live just across the border from Wisconsin. I'm literally just south of the border in Illinois. I go to Wisconsin frequently. For some reason, I just didn't picture Wisconsin in this book the way that I know Wisconsin to be. So it was an 8 out of 10 for atmosphere, but it was still very, very, very well done. Writing is a 7. Nothing stood out to me as this is the most amazing piece of literature I've ever consumed in my life, but it was still an enjoyable piece of writing. Plot is a 7. The whole like pen pal situation, I didn't buy it. I wasn't having a great time with that aspect. And for that to be the whole hinging point on the like third act breakup, so to speak, in this book, I just thought that was not something that I would have taken the liberty of doing in my own piece of writing. I just feel like there's no way that copy wouldn't have caught on. So it was a 7 out of 10 for plot. Intrigue and enjoyment, 8 out of 10. It was a good time. But again, I don't think I'm gonna look back fondly on this and be like, oh, that was the best time. Logic, again, we're gonna ping this back kind of to the plot point of the whole like secret pen pal. 6 out of 10. Poppy is way too astute, at least from what I know of her character, to not have caught on. She practically raised her sisters. I don't see how she could have not seen that Mac was lying about being the pen pal. So this brings the total to 50, which is 7.14 averaged out. And that means that this book was 3.75 stars for me. Closing the door on closed door romance, we're moving right along to the polar opposite, and I read a reverse harem friends to lovers romance next. We're talking about Faking with Benefits by Lily Gold. This book was truly something else. With an average on Goodreads of 3.88 and almost 70,000 ratings with about 7,500 reviews, this is what we've got for the synopsis. Wanted. 3 fake boyfriends must be tall, ripped, and willing to teach me how to kiss. My name is Layla Thompson, and I am undateable. Seriously, I'm 28 and I've never had a boyfriend. I'm 27 years old. I have no prospects and you know, you get it. And with my 30s rapidly approaching, I'm starting to lose patience. Lucky for me, I have 3 overprotective best friends who are all too eager to help me hone my dating skills. There's Zach, the huge rugby player with the cheeky grin and rippling biceps. Josh, the boy next door with the sculpted jaw and calculating stare. And Luke, the silver-haired divorcee who also happens to be my old teacher. After a bad date leaves me crying on their shoulders, the 3 men are determined to help me find a guy. Together they agree to be my practice boyfriends and come up with a lesson plan packed with fake dates, makeout sessions, and classes on flirty texting. In return, I just make an appearance on their relationship advice podcast once a week. Easy. But as my lessons become more and more intense, we soon find ourselves getting in too deep. Every butterfly-inducing touch lingers a little too long, and every molten kiss ends in fireworks. It's not long before I realize that their friendship isn't enough for me anymore. I want more. The guys have been teaching me how to get a boyfriend, and now it's time I put their lessons to the test. 3 times over. Faking with Benefits is a sizzling fake dating romance featuring multiple love interests, tons of molten fake relationship heat, and a whole lot of heart. No cheating and an ultra sweet HEA guaranteed. Tossing it back over again to past me, you can see my thoughts leading up to the review. All right. It's time for my next book, the second book in this vlog, Faking with Benefits by Lily Gold. The only thing I know about this is it's reverse harem, and there may be fake dating involved. I'm gonna get started. Hopefully I can hit, I'm not gonna hit 25% because it's already after 9, and I do want to go to bed by 10, so that's that. But I will update you at the 25% mark of Faking with Benefits. Probably tomorrow. So see you tomorrow with the update. Okay, good day. I am starting chapter 9 of Faking with Benefits. And here's the premise, right? Just kidding. My husband's calling me. 1 second. Okay. So what we're looking at in Faking with Benefits. We have our female main character whose name is Layla. She has a lingerie company. She lives across the hall from 3 dudes who host this like dating advice podcast or relationship advice podcast called 3 Single Guys or something like that. Their names are Zach, Josh, and Luke, which is very easy to remember. 4-letter male names, super easy. So Josh is in love with Layla. Zach used to play rugby, and Luke used to be Layla's teacher. And what they're doing, because their numbers are slipping for their show, is fake dating Layla to provide her much needed dating advice. Because she's been on 120 first dates this year, and none of those have morphed into second dates. So she's in dire need of help with dating. So the men with their slipping numbers are going to give her the advice that she needs and teach her how to date so that men want to go on second dates with her. And what she gets in return is advertising slots on their podcast. So far, I am at chapter 9, and that is about 13% in. I've heard that there's not much plot in this book. Do I feel like the friendship is formed? Not really. It's not really giving me friends to lovers quite yet. That's okay. What I will say, additionally, the author has set us up to believe that Layla, Zach, Josh, and Luke have been friends for at least a few years. But it's weirding me out that Luke used to be her teacher when she was in high school. So we'll see when it gets to sexy times how I truly feel. This book is supposed to be straight debauchery, and I'm not supposed to let the cute cartoonish cover fool me. So yeah, it is about 9 p.m. I'm 13% in. I'm trying to get to at least 30% tonight before I go to bed. It's Thursday. Tomorrow is book club. Saturday is the all-time low show at the rave. This vlog is for sure going to take me more than a week to film. That's totally fine also. Anyway, getting back to it, I will see you all probably at the 50% mark, just because I don't think that much is going to change in the next 10% of this book to warrant an update. So far, it's fine. Nothing to shout from the rooftops about, but it's fine. Maybe I'll find what I'm looking for in this vlog, which is long-term friends to lovers, but so far I'm not having luck. Oh, hi. It's been a few days since I've updated, and that's because I haven't been really reading for the last couple of days. Friday night I had book club. I read very few pages on Friday. Yesterday, I spent the majority of my day in Milwaukee with a huge group of my friends and my kids, because we went to the All Time Low Forever show at the rave in Milwaukee, and it was incredible. I loved it. I had the best time ever. My voice feels a little sore and raspy from screaming for like 3.5 hours straight. So there's that. I have been spending my recovery day, because that's essentially what this Sunday is, reading more of Faking with Benefits. The people who are out here saying there is not a whole lot of plot, all right, there is not a whole lot of plot. What we do have plot-wise are 3 men, each with individual issues of their own. For instance, Josh, one of the men, his issue is his parents had a really horrible relationship, and his mom passed away when he was 19. Zach, one of the other men, he's a Scottish man, by the way. He lost his fiance. We don't know how yet. We just know that she's deceased as well. And Luke is the silver fox, if you will. He was married, and that marriage ended in divorce. So the men have the podcast, 3 Single Guys, or whatever it's called, where they dole out relationship advice, but all of them have had issues in past relationships, whether they are romantic or not, that have brought them all together to form this podcast. I think that what I'm having an issue with is I don't really love the female main character. I don't feel like she has as much depth maybe as the men. Like, she was bullied in high school. Oh, and Luke was her teacher. I think I've addressed this before. But like, we haven't really gotten to the root cause really of her like issues. I understand that bullying impacts people differently, but the way that she was bullied in her high school days is very reminiscent of how I know a lot of young girls are bullied in high school, in terms of like, oh, she's a insert sexual slur here. Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like I'm not connecting with her very much, and that's fine. It is a long read. I'm like 60% in. Right now they're at Josh's brother Rob's wedding. I think his name's Rob. I might be making that up. They're at Josh's brother's wedding, and Josh's brother happens to be marrying Luke's ex-wife. So rock on. Luke has brought Layla as his +1. And then the other 2 men are obviously there because it's Josh's family. I don't think that I have mentioned at any point in my update for this book, the person telling the tale rotates between each of the characters. At first, I thought that it was just going to rotate between Layla and Zach because the first few chapters did just bounce between Layla and Zach. There is no rhyme or reason to who is telling the story next. It just goes. And then I thought for a while, maybe, oh, it's only just gonna be, you know, Josh, Zach, and Layla telling the story. But now Luke's getting some chapters too. He finally has agreed to join in on this little experiment. I think he had issues in committing to the bit because he was Layla's teacher in the past. And, you know, I was hoping that he would hold out strong with those feelings, but apparently, what kind of book would that be, you know? Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to it. I need to get a drink. I am still so freaking dehydrated from last night. Yeah, I'm gonna get a drink. We'll see if I can finish this book tonight. I don't have any hope that that will happen because, like I said, it's a slow read for me. I think I'm just not as into it as I thought I was going to be, and that's okay. That's the whole purpose of these videos, is to figure out what type of writing I like, and Lily Gould's writing maybe is not for me. Totally fine. Anyway, I'm gonna get my drink, get back to reading, finish drying my hair and brush it out and everything. And then probably I'll see you tomorrow for an update when I actually finish the book, because I think I will finish it tomorrow, if not tonight. So yeah, see you then. Okay, hello. It's Monday. I went to bed last night with 10% of Faking with Benefits left, and I finished. I'm just gonna toss it over to future me, who has had more time to think about final thoughts for this book. And we're back to talk about how I actually felt about this book. It's not great, but we're gonna get through it. So, characters. Similar to how I felt with Friends Don't, I don't really think that these characters are ones where I'm gonna be like, do you remember him? The only one whose name really stands out male main character wise is Zach, because that's my brother's name. What I will say I found really incredible is that the author was able to write 3 very distinct love interests for our female main character. In other reverse harem novels that I've read, for example, the Prescott High series, those boys all kind of blended together in my mind. Like, they had different character traits, but they were all kind of like bad boys at the core. So for that, you know, I will commend her for being able to write, I'm talking Lily Gould, I will commend her for being able to write 3 very distinct love interests. It was still a 6 out of 10 for me. They were fine. Atmosphere, also a 6. I think that part of the problem is I want to say that this book is set in England, but like, I couldn't tell. Mostly we are hanging out in the apartments or like restaurants, but nothing really definitive. Like, it wasn't like she was like, oh, we're going to this specific restaurant tonight, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know that that's like a British restaurant or whatever. Mainly we're in the apartments and they're canoodling the whole time. So atmosphere, also a 6 out of 10. Not really playing the movie in my head, if you will. Writing was a 7. There was nothing inherently great about it, but there was also nothing inherently terrible about it either. Plot's a 5 because, quite simply, it's all vibes in this book. The plot is essentially Layla is the way she is because she was bullied in high school. And that's it. The men rather, are trying to break this 28-year-old woman who apparently is so hung up on what happened when she was 16 years old that she can't fucking date anybody. So they're like, we're gonna fix you. We'll fix you. It's fine. As if therapy's not an option. Plot's a 5. Intrigue, 6. I made it through to the end, but towards the end I was just like, oh my God, we're reliving just constant boning, and cool if that's what you're looking for, but for me, I'm like, give me something else. Logic, 5, because once again, I understand that things like bullying impact people differently, but again, she's 28 years old. Therapy is an option. Just saying. 5 out of 10 for It's a 5 out of 10 for the logic. And then my enjoyment was kind of a 7. There were peaks and valleys on this roller coaster of a journey through this book. There were great points. There were points where I was laughing, but there were also points where I just was thinking to myself, what the fuck? So yeah, 7 out of 10 for enjoyment, which brings the total to 42, which averages 6 and makes this book 3.25 stars for me. Once I finished reading about Layla getting railed by 3 very different men, I was ready to embrace a monogamous relationship again. Nothing so far in this vlog has hit the bill for exactly what I'm looking for with this theme. I think I said in one of the vlog clips that specifically what I'm looking for in Friends to Lovers is long-term friends turned lovers. Like, I want them to have been friends since they were children and then like toe the line and like dive off the deep end, you know? Let me tell you something. Powerless by Elsie Silver delivered for me. Absolutely delivered for me. I don't know what it is about Miss Silver and her writing, but it was like a drug to me. If I hadn't gotten sick, which you will see when I was reading this book, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind I would have devoured this book in like 2 days. I did get sick though, so there's that. Averaging 4.08 on Goodreads with 211,000 ratings and almost 22,000 reviews at the point of like compiling my notes. We have 2 childhood friends, 2 broken hearts, 1 impromptu road trip to get away from everything. That's all this was supposed to be. After all, I've been living in the friend zone for years now. But hockey heartthrob Jasper Gervais isn't looking at me like a friend anymore, and he isn't touching me like one either. To his fans, he's the handsome, talented athlete on TV, but to me, he's still the lost boy with sad eyes and a heart of gold, the man I've loved in secret for years. So when my life falls apart on my wedding day, it only makes sense that he's the one to swoop in and save me. And when his world comes crashing down around him, I'm there to return the favor. But the more time we spend alone, the more Jasper doesn't feel like a friend at all. He feels like everything I've ever wanted and thought I could never have. Our feelings aren't straightforward though. They twist and turn around the pain of his past and the reality of my present. Jasper Gervais acts like he wants me, but after years of turning me away, he's going to need to prove it. Here's past me with the vlog portion.
Hello. I don't know if I am getting sick or if I'm just congested from allergies. I don't know. I am, however, laying flat in my bed and you're gonna have to just deal with it. So sorry. I'm 25% in to Powerless by Elsie Silver. What we've got are main characters, Jasper and Sloane. They are childhood friends, which is exactly what I was looking for when I started this vlog, and almost why I saved this book for last. So I'm sure that you're all familiar with the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd book. I've not read any of the other books. I think it's fine. I'm sure that these are all like interconnected standalones taking place in Chestnut Springs, and it's cool. I'm enjoying my time reading this. I probably will go back and read the other books in this series after I finish this. So Jasper plays hockey. He and Sloane have known each other since Sloane was 10. Sloane is a ballerina. We open with this book as Sloane is getting married to a real piece of work named Sterling. And this is like a business opportunity for her father, who is like a very wealthy man. So he sees Sloane marrying Sterling as a way to make his company more money, however that may be. Jasper helps Sloane flee her wedding, and it was great. I loved that part. All right, so right now, Jasper is suspended from playing hockey for 2 weeks because he kept something happening in his family a secret. Now, what I have neglected to tell you until this point is that Jasper and Sloane know each other because Jasper was taken in by Beau's family, and Beau is Sloane's cousin. So something happens in Jasper's childhood that warrants him being basically without a home, and Beau brings him into the family. This is why Sloane and Jasper have known each other for basically Sloane's whole life. Sloane used to spend her summers in Chestnut Springs, but she would spend like the school year in the city. I am thoroughly enjoying my time with this book. I'm just now hitting 25% because the reading's been slow because of whatever this is. I don't really have much else to update. One thing of note is that both Sloane and Jasper do feel a certain type of way about each other, but we are having a very hard time communicating the way that we feel towards each other as it goes. You know, it's feeling quite slow burny for right now, and I am thoroughly enjoying that. Yeah, that's all. I am going to continue to read and lay in this specific position, and then I'm going to take medicine to hopefully feel better tomorrow. It's Wednesday, so this vlog is taking me a lot longer than I thought, but it's cool. See you tomorrow with my update at the 50% mark or wherever I make it to. Hello, good Saturday morning. This vlog is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Work's been kicking my butt, and I've also done some things after work to warrant me not being able to read early. But also, like, most of my reading is done after my kids go to bed. And because of whatever congestion I have going on, I've been trying to like go to sleep earlier. And yeah, I've gone to bed at like 8:30 every night this week besides Thursday night. So here we are. I finally hit the 50% mark in Powerless. I am loving it. Something about the way that Elsie Silver writes is perfect for tension building. This is the first Elsie Silver that I've ever read, and I can 100% guarantee that I will be reading more because she is incredibly talented with writing. At about the 45% mark, we have the fuck it, I'm gonna ruin our friendship kiss, and I was here for it. I like love the characters, Jasper and Sloane. I love the side characters. We get little snippets of text messages between the side characters, and I'm here for it. Love, love, love this book. Today's plans include finishing this book. I have to run to the post office because I need stamps and I'm completely out. And I have to mail something that requires a stamp, obviously. So that and reading, and that's it. It's been very, very fucking hot in the Midwest. I don't want to go outside, like at all. So I'm gonna try to avoid doing that at all costs and just hang out and read. It is August now. Love that. If you hear my children yelling at my dog, I'm so sorry, she has boundary issues. Yeah, it's August now, and so I need to film like my August TBR video, but that's all on the agenda for tomorrow. I'm gonna go, I need to read, I need to finish drinking my coffee, I need to go save my children from my no boundary having dog, and I will update you hopefully at the 75% mark. Just know that I'm loving this book. Gotta go save the kids, bye. All right, good Saturday afternoon. I am not done with the book yet. I'm at 80%. Okay, and I have taken a break to eat dinner, but also to pause in fear that a third act breakup is coming, and I don't want that because I have not rooted for characters this hard since yours truly. And yeah, cut to the clip of me crying over whatever the fuck I was crying about in this book earlier, like single tear running down my face because I was so happy for fucking fictional characters. Suffice to say, I get the hype, right? I hate Sloane's dad, I don't love Sloane's mom, and I wish that she would just fucking stand up to her husband. I love all of the side characters in Chestnut Springs. I'm literally obsessed. I texted my bestie, who is now in Japan, thanks Navy, and I was like, have you read any of Miss Elsie's books in this series? And she was like, no, and I was like, you need to. It's so good. Like, I'm literally about to finish this book today and then download the other books in the series because I'm obsessed. I added them all to my Amazon cart, and like I might just try to find my Barnes & Noble gift cards and next weekend go and buy them all because I'm literally so enthralled by the writing and obsessed with the characters. And so sorry, like it's romance, so like the romance is key to the plot, but like I just am living for it. Like
Jasper is so stoic and quiet and like has all of these childhood traumas, and Sloane is just so like, I don't know, she just like doesn't take anybody's fucking shit, and I am living for it. Okay. I don't know how many times I've said that I'm obsessed with this book, but I'm literally obsessed with this book, and like clearly it's going to be the front runner in this little I Read 3. And I'm hoping that the other 4 books can somehow fit a different theme in this trope testing series that I have going on, because that would be incredible and I would love that. I need to go because I need to just get over the fear that there's going to be like a 3rd act breakup and just read the book. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Okay? Okay, I'll see you when the book's over. Could someone please explain to me why I was openly weeping at the end of Powerless? Like, what does she put in those books? Because I'm assuming that all of them are as good as Powerless. And like, I was openly crying at the end. Okay, so this is the end of the vlog portion. I'm gonna take it over to future me, who's gonna tell you reviews for all of the books that I read and close out the vlog. I fucking loved this book. Loved it. Oh, it was so good. Okay, take it away, future me. And here's present me to tell you that this book was a fucking banger and I loved it. Nothing rates lower than an 8. It was darn near perfect, so let's run through it. Jasper and Sloane are contenders for one of my favorite romance couples this year. And I love being able to come here like regularly and say that. Characters were a 9 out of 10. I genuinely can't wait to read more of the Chestnut Springs books, because the snippets of the side characters that we get in this, like the text messages at the beginning of each chapter, just make me want to know the people of Chestnut Springs more. It's a 9 out of 10. I freaking loved the characters in this book. Atmosphere, also a 9 out of 10. I've said it before, I'll say it again. From a small town, this book delivered the small town vibes immaculately. I felt like I was there. I felt like I was watching the movie, especially when it comes to things like the ending of the book, which if you've read, you know what I'm talking about. I could picture exactly what was happening as it was happening. I love it when that happens. 9 out of 10 for atmosphere. Writing is a 10. I have no notes. I don't know what writing courses Elsie Silver took in her past, but she is an incredible writer, and I loved it. This was the first Elsie Silver book that I've read, by the way. Solidified off of one read that she's going to be an author that I continue to read. Her writing is great. The plot was an 8 out of 10 for me. I don't typically like, I think that my key issue with the plot in this one is the whole trauma of Jasper's past. I did not love that. I did not love reading that. It just broke my heart a little too much to see that he could have such horrible, horrible parents. I know that they exist, but I read to escape reality, and that just like, it broke my heart. I cried a little reading about what Jasper went through as a young teen. Like it's devastating. So 8 out of 10 for plots. Otherwise it was great. I loved it. Intrigue, enjoyment, both 10s. Like I said a million times so far, I would have torn through this book had I not gotten sick at the middle point of reading it. And logic was an 8 out of 10. Once again, therapy is available. I think that part of my favorite, like one of my favorite parts of the logic of this book was Sloane like sticking it to her dad. Otherwise, like normalized therapy. Total was 64, which averages to 9.14, which means that this book was the clear front runner with 4.75 stars. We love to see it. I love when I almost get 5 stars for romance. This one, obviously a little spicy, but not the spiciest of reads that I've ever had. All in all, I would say that Friends to Lovers was a success, and obviously there was the front runner. The other books I read in this vlog were just as fun as Powerless to read. I think that the next time I do Friends to Lovers, I'm going to have to like refine the search a little bit to specify exactly what I want, because all 3 books are drastically different in terms of friendship. So in the first book, Poppy and Mac meet and then like evolve into a friendship over like the course of 3 months, where in the second book, Faking with Benefits, we have people who have been friends for like 5 years. And then in Powerless, we have the friendship that I was looking for, which is like, we meet when I'm 10 years old and I've had a crush on you since I was like 15, and now we're 28 and 34, and it's like, we're falling in love. That's what I was specifically looking for in this, but it just didn't go as planned. That's it. That's all that I truly have to say about Friends to Lovers. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It's free for you. It's fun for me. Leave me a like if you liked this video. And if you made it all the way to the end and you don't have anything, like any book suggestions for me, if you could just leave me this little cowboy hat emoji to let me know that you've made it to the end, I would love to see who lasts for the whole video. Otherwise, I will see you next week. I'm gonna try for a reading challenge, but we'll see how it goes. Bye, guys.